Welcome to today's conversation. I'm, of course, very excited to see you here. Thank you for joining me on this crypto adventure. Lots of big news to cover today. Is the Bitcoin ETF a once in a lifetime opportunity liquidity event for the cryptocurrency markets? The answer is yes. We're going to get into why that's the case. Also, some Ethereum ETF news, some Avalanche news, big things been happening there. Other altcoin news, lots of fun things going on in the markets today. Taking a look at some charts too, just because why not? And of course, as always, answering your questions at the end. So make sure to stick around for that. Save your questions, and I'll be answering those for you as we get towards the end of today's conversation. Of course, shout out if you're joining here on YouTube or X for the live stream, or if you're listening to this later on the Apple or Spotify podcasts. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So let us commence the conversation by talking about the price of Bitcoin. What is up with the price of Bitcoin right now? Well, glad you asked. Let's have a look at it. We've had an incredible rally over the last few weeks. It's really been a beautiful thing. The Bitcoin ETF hype has, without a doubt, been pushing markets higher. And of course, Bitcoin moves first, altcoins catch up afterwards. We're seeing a bit of slowdown on momentum recently. We had this, of course, the big initial pumps on the 16th and the 23rd of October. Ever since then, we've been grinding slowly up. We did hit our peak here around almost 38K. We can see we hit that number on the 9th of November, came back here on the 15th, 16th, getting rejected there once again. That, I guess, is currently our line to beat here for Bitcoin. Still in a very, very solid uptrend with the 50-day EMA well and truly above the 200-day EMA currently. MACD starting to form a bit of a downtrend here on the daily. Perhaps we see a bit of a cooling off before we get our next big Bitcoin ETF hype moments. Markets, of course, taking a bit of a hit in the last 24 hours because the SEC has delayed its decision on the hash DEX as well as the grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF applications, none of which, of course, is really all that surprising. A lot of market participants are, market analysts are looking at January 10th as being the most likely time frame, maybe that first week of January being the most likely time frame when we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF approved. January 10th, of course, is a very important date because that is when the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF final deadline comes up. See, right now they're talking to all these ETF companies. They're going back and forth. The ETF companies are making amendments. I mean, the SEC is actually talking to them this time, which is a big advancement from previous times when we see the SEC wouldn't even talk to them. They'd just say, no, get out of here. No, get out of here. And now, because of the grayscale case and grayscale winning that case, and the judge basically saying to the SEC, you have no logical grounds to continue to deny these spot Bitcoin ETF products. You have been capricious and unfair. And that's, of course, exactly the case. If a Bitcoin futures ETF is good enough for the markets, because remember, the price data is coming from the same place, right? They take the price data from like Coinbase and Bitstamp, whatever. If that data is good enough for futures markets, it's good enough for spot markets. So the likelihood that we are going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US markets is very, very high right now. Now, January 10th could still not happen. They could deny the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF for some reason, which would then push us back to March for the next major round of final approval or denials, which is the BlackRock and Fidelity and everybody else. Theirs come around March 15, 16, 17. Yeah, very interesting stuff. I think the market was really hoping that we'd get that approval this week. But look, the approvals will come. It's just a question of when. Just a question of when. Although I like this shared by TED Talks Macro here. His scenario, if we get an approval. So we're going to see an initial surge in demand due to institutional inflows. increased market accessibility for retail investors, improved regulatory clarity and investor confidence, higher market growth due to these factors. This is all good stuff. Again, with the SEC continuing to delay and having denied for so many years the spot Bitcoin ETF, they have not protected investors. They've actually screwed investors over massively. People would have taken these regulated products over putting their money into much more speculative and risky places. So yes, institutional inflows will come. We will have more accessibility for the average retail investor to be able to put Bitcoin into the retirement account, stuff like this. Now, what if they don't approve a Bitcoin ETF? Of course, there are still doubters, people, and maybe they're right. There's nothing is 100% certain. Although I feel like because BlackRock has also filed an Ethereum spot ETF application, they only did that because they know they're going to get the Bitcoin spot ETF application. Just a theory. I feel like now is the time. I could be proven wrong. The markets always have a way of humbling people, and I hope that this is not going to be the case with our ETF story here. Anyway, if there's no ETF approval, continued growth at current rates without additional boost from ETF adoption. Got to think, even without the ETF stuff, we have been doing pretty good. The market's been doing okay. And I know a lot of our recent moves have been from hype around a potential ETF approval, but even before that, markets were okay. Potential missed institutional investment, of course, not approving a Bitcoin ETF for U.S. markets will hold back tens of billions of institutional dollars that would love to get access to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and slower growth due to perceived higher risk and lack of traditional market structure. Of course, that regulatory clarity that will come from an ETF approval is absolutely massive and will be very big for the markets, which all leads me to speculate that the Bitcoin ETF is a once-in-a-lifetime liquidity event. Now, what do I mean by this? When we get this ETF, and look, as Mr. Harry Lozani points out here, we don't need no stinking ETF. This is true. You're much better off just buying Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin in your hardware wallet and chilling. When BlackRock is in charge of your Bitcoin, BlackRock owns your Bitcoin. You just have an IOU piece of paper, and that's a pretty good IOU, but still, those are the facts. Anyway, the Bitcoin ETF is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the markets. This is going to be a money injection of epic proportions. We've never seen a money injection like this into the cryptocurrency markets. If we go back to the 2017 bull run, there wasn't almost any institutional participation in that. Oh, there was the tiniest little bits of stories, but not really much going on. Fast forward to 2021, 2020, that's when MicroStrategy started buying. That's when other companies started buying. Tesla bought. PayPal introduced Bitcoin for their clients. We started seeing banks and investment firms like Morgan Stanley, Bernstein, others coming in, the New York Digital Investment Group, all these different players, institutional players, starting to get on board. But they are the early adopters, the earliest of early, right? Now, with the ETFs, this unleashes a flow of liquidity like nothing before, because it allows for all these different organizations to get access to Bitcoin. And people like BlackRock and Fidelity, they're going to be pushing Bitcoin like crazy. Remember, these guys operate on fees. So if they can sell Bitcoin to people at $50,000, for example, $45,000, $40,000, whatever it's going to be, those people buy it, price of Bitcoin goes up by 5x. Those people are probably going to stay in their Bitcoin because they're in profits. Maybe some are going to sell, but a lot of people are going to, oh, great, I'm locked in some profits here. It's fantastic. And as long as they're holding that Bitcoin ETF at 150K and BlackRock can take 1% a year fees on it, these asset managers are going to be killing it. They're going to be slaying like crazy on the fees, which is going to make them want to push Bitcoin and Ethereum products even more. We've seen all kinds of price estimates from 20 billion in the first year up to 40 billion in the third year. That was what Galaxy Digital was saying. Right up the bullish scenarios of 100 billion in the first year. I think a lot of it's going to depend on the macro conditions. If everything's really, really terrible in the macro scene, you may not see as much money as some anticipate flowing into Bitcoin ETF products. But regardless, tens of billions over years. Not on day one, but tens of billions over the next few years are going to come into Bitcoin. tens of billions. This is the biggest liquidity injection the market's ever had and may ever have again. This will be a crazy bull market cycle with huge amounts of Wall Street money, huge amounts of retail money, retirement fund money, pension fund money, family office money, millionaire money, billionaire money, your Uncle Joe's money. Everybody coming into these Bitcoin ETF products because they can buy it on the brokerage apps. Their asset managers, Fidelity's been calling people like, yo, want to buy a Bitcoin ETF? People go, oh, yeah, that's great. I heard about that Bitcoin thing. I want to come buy an ETF. I don't have to go to Coinbase and buy a Ledger wallet and do all that stuff and risk losing my keys. I can just buy it through you guys. Well, that's fantastic. The opportunity here is insane. And I hope I'm explaining this right. I hope that you're seeing the opportunity here because it's a very exciting time to be in the markets. And again, maybe we do get denied by the SEC, and this doesn't happen until 2025 or something when a new administration comes in. I don't know. But it looks like all the stars are lining up. They're getting all the ducks in a row, and we're probably going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF in the next few months. A lot of people are thinking it could be within the next 60 days. Maybe it's going to be March, but it's also lining up the Bitcoin halving. A lot of exciting catalysts coming here for the market. And if Bitcoin goes up to 150, 180K, something like that, what's going to happen to your altcoins, man? It's going to be crazy. That's what. It's going to be crazy. Okay. Anyway, I really think it's a massive opportunity. I really do. And this is why I keep making videos on it. And I hope that the information is making sense to everybody. Of course, not financial advice, just me sharing my opinions. Can't tell you guys what to do with your money. And of course, adoption continues. Germany's fourth largest bank, Commerz AG, was granted a Bitcoin and crypto custody license. Great. Another big bank rolling out the red carpet for their customers to come and buy Bitcoin. Fantastic. It just keeps happening. Bitcoin breaks a new all-time high in Turkey. All right. It's not good, actually, because it means the Turkish lira is getting slammed, just like the Argentine peso and a lot of others. Fiat is a plague, a financial plague upon the world, and Bitcoin is the vaccine against it. And I like this. I like this because it proves so much of what I've been saying for a long time here is that, man, all you got to do is dollar cost average into Bitcoin. And look, I know we talk about altcoins a lot and there's a lot of opportunities there and you can dollar cost average into altcoins and stuff too like that. But here's the insane thing. And these numbers always blow my mind when they get run. Had you started buying at the top in 2021 when Bitcoin hit 69K and you kept buying every day, $5 a Bitcoin, you can find $5 a day. Had you bought $5 of Bitcoin every day from the peak back in 2021 up until today, you would have made $1,600 in profit. You would have invested $3,650, and your Bitcoin would now be worth $5,250. And of course, as the price continues to appreciate over time, the profits will go up. Dollar cost averaging, taking a long-term view. If you're in crypto for a short time, a week, 3 months, something like this, it's very likely that you're going to run into a situation where you're going to be at a loss. But almost anybody who has been in crypto for a few years, 4 or 5 years, are in profit because long time frames, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the other assets, not all the altcoins, just keep going up. Now, before we get into talking about the altcoin stuff, just a quick note. If you are a cryptocurrency trader, you got yourself an account over at BYBIT. Best damn place to be trading cryptocurrency. You want to trade futures, they got you covered. You want to trade spot altcoins, they got you covered. Huge trading bonuses here as well, up to 30K deposit and trading bonuses. And we're doing a lucky draw giveaway right now. Thousands of dollars in prizes. iPhone 15, iPad Pro, all that kind of stuff. You can use the link in the description to participate in that lucky draw and all the other bonuses and discounts that you can get by using that link. Thank you very much in advance. So let's talk about altcoins. I like this one. Pentoshi posted it, and I think it's an interesting point. He said there's probably a free trade coming up in the near future on Dogecoin. He says not only has Doge been ranging for 500 days, It's probable that in less than 2 months, Elon Musk will be tweeting about it, often leading into the Doge 1 satellite launch, which is scheduled for January. Because, of course, Elon Musk launching a rocket into the space, he's got to call it Doge 1. Now, what happens when Elon Musk starts tweeting every single day about Doge, 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 Doge? The hype alone, the speculation alone can drive prices crazy. Obviously, it's a meme coin. You got to be careful, manage your risk, all that kind of stuff. But it is an interesting idea. I'm not sure if I will play that idea, but I like the idea shared here. And you know how silly these meme coins get, guys, which is why I'm sharing the thought with you here now. Interesting thought here from Andrew Kang as well, expecting alt season to take a breather for a bit. Fortune favors the patient for now. Great long entries will come in due time. We have been on a crazy run recently with altcoins. I mean, look at some of these charts. Look at AVAX today, went up to like $24. It's raging again. Chainlink got all the way up to $16.50. Like, it's been crazy. Solana's up at like $65 or something at the moment. It's been pretty nuts, guys. It's been pretty nuts. We've had some huge moves. A cool down would be totally fine. And you have to understand that during these bull market impulses, nothing goes exactly straight up forever. There will be big pullbacks, and you should be ready for those. I've got bids in lower just in case we do get some nice fat pullbacks, right? I've got a bid in for Bitcoin at 30K, AVAX at 1250, and Chainlink at $10. I don't know if I'll get those filled, and I don't care if I do. But I'm waiting for the day when I wake up and there's been some kind of FUD in the market and everybody freaks out, man, and prices go down. That red day, that's when you want to buy. That's when I want to buy. And maybe you guys like buying high and selling low. I mean, if that's you, then I wish you luck. I wish you luck. Hey, by the way, been a big airdrop recently. You may want to check and see if you are available for it. This is from Pith Network, which is an Oracle provider, as Sandeep, the founder of Polygon, points out here. 120 DeFi dApps, already securing 1.6 billion. They're with 90 data providers, 230 dApps right now, 300-day price feeds, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, it's a big old fat airdrop. Now, the airdrop is if you have been using like the Injective network, if you've been using the Ethereum network, if you've been using the Solana network, they're just dropping coins out to those people. So you may be eligible for an airdrop. So you want to come over here and check that out and see if you are eligible for an airdrop or not. So you can go to airdrop.pyth.network. Just be careful. You probably want to come over here on Twitter and make sure to verify the actual account itself. Make sure you're getting the legit one and watch out for scams because, of course, there are always many scammers that come out of the woodworks here. So I'm eligible for an airdrop for this. Yay for me. Yay for me. A lot of you guys probably will be as well. So in case you're not aware of it, go check it out. I think the airdrop's going to be claimable in a couple of days here, and it'll have a 90-day window. So you will need to act on that when the time comes. All right. Okay, now let's talk about the Ethereum ETF. BlackRock has officially filed the S1 prospectus for its spot Ethereum ETF with the SEC, filing, among other things, appoints Coinbase as the custodian for the underlying Ethereum. I feel like there is a real play here for the Coinbase stock. I've been adding to my Coinbase stock position based on this theory. Hope it 10Xs. Come on, man. Coinbase stocks to $1,000. Let's go. Let's go. That's going to be great if it happens. Going to sell it all. Be fantastic. But the Ethereum ETF will come. The Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, it's not a question of when. It's just it's not a question of if. It's just a question of when it's going to come. At this point, we're going to get them. And once we get these, I know here's the crazy thing. Once we get these, we're going to get a Solana ETF and a Chainlink ETF, and things will start to get pretty crazy. We're going to see a huge amount of institutional involvement in a lot of the top assets in the cryptocurrency space. It'll be pretty crazy, to be honest. So we'll watch out for that. Eric Balkunis here, an ETF analyst over for Bloomberg, saying the Ether is a commodity, but the SEC won't admit it. Right here saying, this is from James, who's also a Bloomberg analyst on ETFs. The SEC and Chair Gary Gensler won't publicly acknowledge that Ethereum is a commodity, but multiple actions since 2018 show that they implicitly accept its commodity status. Officially declaring Ethereum a security would likely lead to a duel with the CFTC. We expect the SEC to treat it more like Bitcoin and approve spot Ethereum ETFs in 2024. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Just like the Bitcoin ETFs are coming, Ethereum spot ETFs are coming too. I'll be interested to see if they end up giving staking rewards out, or if the ETF providers are going to pocket that. Let's pocket that. Let's take that money. It's a very obvious play for Wall Street, because Bitcoin's digital gold. It's the OG cryptocurrency, right? Scarce supply, all that fun kind of stuff. We know the value proposition. And then for Ethereum's this whole different beast. Deflationary, staking rewards. If you want access to NFTs, gaming, stable coins, decentralized finance, everything benefits the core Ethereum asset. It's like this value sink where all this stuff's happening. It just sucks the value in from all that stuff. So I feel like this will also be a pretty popular product with Wall Street. Now, how much money goes into these Ethereum spot ETFs? Who knows? But even small amounts of billions could really move markets a lot. Now let's talk about Avalanche. Avalanche has been doing some pretty gosh darn big things recently. The chart's gone crazy. Look at this bad boy. Holy cow. Had a huge move, 100% gains in basically the last week. Big uptrend here on the MACD, continuing higher, has not flipped over into a bearish retracement yet. Let me put that back up here for you. Has not flipped over into a bearish retracement yet here for Avalanche. And we have a bull cross coming in with the 50-day EMA now closing up and over. Ta-da, there, the 200-day EMA. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Incredible moves. Like I said, I have a bid in lower, but man, the higher this pushes, the less it feels like that bid's going to get filled. But, you know, I have a big bag of AVAX already. If a bid doesn't get filled, c'est la vie. But we've had some big news. Of course, big news pumps the price up, which makes it a more dangerous time to buy because everyone's on that euphoria from the big news coming in. So just be careful if you're rushing out, trying to ape into a bag right now. There may be better price points available in the future. Potentially, not financial advice, of course. Project Guardian City trials foreign exchange solutions using the Avalanche blockchains. That's City as in City Bank, right? Big player there using the Avalanche blockchain. And of course, the one that got everybody very excited, JP Morgan, cursed be their name. Their Onyx product is leveraging Avalanche to explore a new paradigm for portfolio management. They're also working with some other crypto players, Axelar, Biconomy, and a few others. So pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, this has got people very, very excited. Huge institutions are starting to turn to Avalanche. Avalanche's subnets are fantastic technology. We're seeing some really big games coming to Avalanche. They're getting people super excited as well for good reason, because they look beautiful. Shrapnel, off the grid, other stuff out there as well. As Emperor Osmo points out, the opportunity to lead in a $5.5 trillion market is what's ahead for Avalanche. JP Morgan's Onyx is being deployed on AVAX. The total addressable market for Avalanche just exploded exponentially. Remember, all these guys keep talking about tokenization of real world assets. They're going to bring stocks on chain. They're going to bring real estate on chain. They're going to bring derivatives on chain. They're going to bring treasuries on chain. A lot of this stuff's already starting to happen, by the way. It's just the early days. We're going to see it take off in a very massive way. And this is a whole nother like liquidity monster coming into the cryptocurrency markets, which is happening now and in 2024 and in 2025. So we have the ETFs bringing billions in. We have real world assets bringing in tens of billions as well. Just over the next few years, it'll be trillions by 2030 of real assets being brought on chain. And just imagine how crazy it's going to be when you're going to be able to like take your stocks and have them tokenized and be able to take a loan against them on chain to be able to ape into dog coins. It's going to be great times. JP Morgan Onyx CEO out here saying that they're hoping to see 5 to 10 billion USD a day on the blockchain, the Avalanche blockchain, within 2 years. That's huge, huge money we're talking about here. This is crazy stuff. And of course, really great for the Avalanche blockchain, obviously. But then there's Solana. Let's not forget about Solana. Solana's been on a crazy run recently. Solana's price spiking after Cathie Wood came out and said, well, Solana's great. We all love Solana, basically. What's interesting, though, is that the venture capital money has not yet come back in force into the Solana ecosystem. Venture funding on Solana has declined by 92% from 2.3 billion in 22 down to 176 million year to date right now. VCs are sidelined, and I think there's a lot of great projects currently built on Solana that will start getting a lot of attention. The Jupiter Exchange airdrop, that's another big airdrop. By the way, you may have seen it, but if you've been using Solana actively, go check out the Jupiter Exchange, see if you are eligible for an airdrop or not. By the way, we cover all of this stuff, all these airdrops, in the Wealth Mastery newsletter. You've probably heard about it, but it's a freaking awesome newsletter. The best damn newsletter in the business, if I do say so myself. And I know I'm biased, but it's a great damn newsletter. We cover altcoin alpha. We cover the news, technical analysis, airdrops, man. So the airdrops we've covered have made literally thousands of dollars. It's crazy. And you can get all this for free. You got 85,000 weekly readers enjoying our content. And you can be an enjoyer as well. Just click on the link in the description where you can sign up for free. So go ahead and check it out. Now, that concludes the main news segment of today's conversation. Let's talk crypto. What is on your minds right now? Let's just jump straight in. John's got a question here about Beam. I assume you're talking about Merit Circle's subnet Beam and not the old privacy coin, which is also Beam, but nobody really talks about it anymore. So if we're talking about that, great, exciting. I'm happy to see them building on Avalanche. I've got a huge bag of, Beam, so I'm very excited about that. I've converted my Merit Circle coins into Beam coins. I think crypto gaming is going to be a massive, massive trend over the next few years. We're actually starting to see actually good games coming out for the market. And this is a very, very big difference from before. If you go back even a couple of years, most of the games sucked. Go back a few years further back, the games were absolute garbage. Now look at the quality of games coming out. It's insane. We're actually getting beautiful games from serious game designers. We're seeing big money coming into the gaming ecosystem. Not to be faded. Okay. Mattia. Hi, Lark. Are you staking any of your ETH on a node or two? Is it worth it to run run's own node if they have more than 32 ETH or just cold storage? Thanks. Well, that's a great question. I covered this topic the other day, but I'll cover it again. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. So I am not currently staking my Ethereum, and I'm not running a node. There's a couple reasons for this, and this may not apply to you in your jurisdiction, so I want to keep that in mind. But if I were to take my Ethereum and stake it via Lido Finance, for example, that would be a taxable event for me, and I'd have to pay a bunch of tax basically on my ETH in order to get 3% APY or whatever, which would be great, but it wouldn't really make sense from a tax perspective. I'm not running my own nodes either. Obviously, I've got the 32 ETH to be able to do it, but my concerns are twofold. One is, there's always the possibility of getting slashed, which is not great if something goes on with my node. But the more big concern is when you stake directly, you have to get into the exit queue. So let's say that ETH gets up to 10K, 15K at the height of the bull market. Yes, $15,000 Ethereum. Great. I want to sell. Guess what? I'm screwed now because I can't get out. Everybody else has the same damn idea. Everybody else, wow, $15,000 Ethereum. Let's quick get our nodes out and let's sell. Let's sell. And the exit queue suddenly becomes 6 months long, a year long. By the time I actually get that ETH back, it's worth 4 or 5K, 6K. So I missed out on selling at 10K, 15K in order to try and get 3% gains from staking. I don't know. Perhaps I'm mid-curving Ethereum staking right now. Maybe I really am. Maybe I just need to, engage my ape and just do it. But this is my thought process at the moment. Again, maybe it makes sense for you. I'm not telling you what to do. Obviously, just kind of my thought process around staking or not staking my Ethereum. Anyway. Where are we up to? Matthew, 11, the live evening shows, longtime subscriber. Thank you for what you do. Thank you very much. DYOR, DCA, self-custody hodl. That's the way, man. That's the way. Alan says, I want to stake my ETH on my Nano, but I'm too scared to. I mean, if you know how to run your node, that's fine. Or again, for you, it might make sense to use something like Lido Finance. Again, for me, for tax purposes, it doesn't make sense. Where you live, that may not be the case. You might have this not be a taxable event by staking in Lido Finance. For me, it is. In my jurisdiction, it may not be the case in your jurisdiction. You may want to talk to a local tax accountant about that, and you may actually be able to stake in Lido Finance, get your staked Ethereum, and just that's like the simplest, super easy way to earn yield on your ETH. Matthew's asking about some coins. Etherisk, never heard of it. Ternoa, I actually met the CEO of Ternoa recently, but I don't have a great opinion on their technology or blockchain. Honestly, I've looked at it in the past, but I've not looked at it in a very, very long time. So I don't have a good analysis on that for you. Daniel asks, have a fellow nerd tell me to sell my BTC after ETF pumps and use profits for low alts to get higher returns. Is that wise or a big risk? Well, there's always risk in rotation. There's always risk in rotation, and you have to keep that in mind. And throwing money into lower cap alts, I mean, it's not a certain thing. A lot of them are going to pump. Not all of them. And you, of course, have to get out at the right time. In theory, great idea. Sounds really easy. Okay, BTC pumped. We're up at 100K, 120K, ETF news. Everyone's going crazy. I'm going to sell my Bitcoin. I'm going to throw it all into like some super low cap alts. That rotation works in theory. You got to choose the right altcoins. You may not need to be super greedy in that situation. Go for like super low caps. Maybe you can just go for some of the big cap stuff. And there's going to be enough extra gains in that situation. Because once Bitcoin cools down, altcoins tend to have big moves. But you have to keep in mind, you might get it wrong. Because once you sell that Bitcoin, that's a taxable event in most places. So keep that in mind. Now, maybe you've got it set up so it's not a taxable event for you, but it's probably going to be a taxable event. You're going to owe money on that. And if you take all the money you just made and throw it in a bunch of altcoins that lose a truckload of money, well, guess what? You still owe the tax, man. And now you have a bunch of altcoins that are worth nothing. So you have to be careful with that. So make sure if you are going to take some of this money and try to make it work again, make sure your taxes are paid. And accept that you might lose. And accept that Bitcoin can pump higher for longer than anybody expects. And you can be sidelined. All thoughts to consider. All thoughts to consider. Novum Classicum. This is a good point. Why don't you sell your Bitcoin in the US? You never sell your Bitcoin as it's a taxable event. You keep it forever and take tax-free loans against it. Yes, if you can find somebody to give you a tax-free loan against it. Unfortunately, we can't trust any of the centralized lenders. And if you change, again, at least for me, if I change my Bitcoin to wrapped Bitcoin, it's a taxable event. Kind of defeats the purpose. I don't want to keep all my Bitcoin and wrapped Bitcoin just in case. Right? As like a long-term storage strategy. I would use wrapped Bitcoin in a short term, but not for like years. Okay, where are we up to here? Keon asks about AVAX unlocks. So far, unlocks have not really mattered super much, to be honest. I mean, we had a big Solana unlock recently. We had the FTX estate selling truckloads of Solana recently, and nobody cared. Market just absorbed it and pumped massively higher. So unlocks can be bearish events, but they're often overblown and tend not to actually be as bearish as a lot of people imagine them to be. Often unlocks come and go and it doesn't even really matter. In most cases, sometimes for very low liquidity coins, unlocks can be a big problem. But if you have a big multi-billion-dollar cap coin and 100 million's unlocked, it's not usually that big of a problem, to be honest, from what I've seen. Where are we up to next here? Buttinator. What about all the noise and information coming out about ETH, voice recordings? People are now coming forward on the ETH case. I have not kept up with that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to have a look at that later, I guess. Figure that out. But just be careful about the amount of fake information floating around online. Maybe there's something there. I don't know, but I'll have a look at that later. I've not seen anything about what you're talking about in particular. Roaming Nomad says Celestia will definitely do well this cycle. We're definitely seeing a lot of hype building behind Celestia right now. People are starting to already say, oh, this is going to be this cycle Solana, et cetera, et cetera. We shall see. We shall see. But I can certainly see that if we look at 2021 as a great example, new coins tend to really have a lot of momentum because there's not a bunch of salty bag holders that they can go into price discovery and people get very excited about them. Wait for the next bear market and everybody starts capitulating on it. But right now, everyone's gonna be very excited about this. And look, there's a lot of other new stuff coming out too. And we've had Sui and Aptos, which came out pretty recently. Celestia, of course, is the new one that everyone's talking about. We have another 20 blockchains that are going to come out in the next 6 months, probably. But yeah, Celestia is definitely getting attention right now. And I think if you had a big pullback on it, might tempt me into a bag as well. Although I really hate getting new bags. New bags. It'd have to be a pretty big, brutal pullback. I don't know. We'll see. Where are we up to next? Clay the Great. Sometimes you can get fire sales on assets on the AVAX Dexalot subnet. I got 1K worth of AVAX, $1 under market prices. There you go. There is always arbitrage opportunities out there. Always arbitrage opportunities out there if you're looking around. And, if you have the time to find them and you're clever, you can definitely find opportunities to get things under value, especially as we get so much fractured liquidity happening across chains and layer twos and all this stuff. You will see price discrepancies in places, and that can be an opportunity for the savvy trader with a bit of time on their hands. Okay. Price prediction for CASPA at the top of the bull run. I do not have a price prediction for CASPA at the top of the bull run. Incredible run that CASPA's been on recently. It's one of those ones, should have spent more time looking into it. We made a great Twitter thread on it back when, a while ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that, when it had a nice big run. And obviously a lot of people have been talking about it. And I've been so hesitant to add new positions to my portfolio, in spite of the fact that it's a very interesting coin, obviously. And obviously it's done very, very well. So to all those who did believe in it, congratulations to you. Without a doubt, there's been incredible opportunity in this bull market so far for making money. I mean, 2023 has been a huge money-making year. We've had all kinds of stuff going from, guys, remember back in February, we had the AI hype and all the AI coins were going up hundreds of %. And then we had Pepe coin and Arbitrum season and all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff's been happening this year. All kinds of money has been being made this year. It's been crazy. So there's definitely these opportunities out there. And there's been coins like CASPA that have just gone on crazy, crazy, crazy runs. A lot of others as well in that space. So crazy. Love it. Love it. I love seeing you guys make money. I really, really do. And I hope that some of you guys had big fat Caspa bags and made truckloads of money. I know that I've definitely received quite a few messages from you guys here in the comment section on YouTube or X, or people slipping into my email or whatever saying, dude, Caspa, oh my gosh, like, yeah. So pretty cool. I don't have a price prediction for it, but it's been great to see it do well because I know you guys are making money on it, and that makes me happy. Sue asks, what makes you hesitant to add more coins? This is a great question, Sue. My hesitance towards adding more coins is I've already got a lot of coins in my portfolio. When you start adding too many coins, it becomes too hard to manage, at least for me. And look, I'm somebody who does crypto like full time, right? I've got 16, 17 coins or something like that. Currently, I've got 30, 40 venture investments that are going to be coming up in the next year or two. That's crazy already. It's totally crazy. Having that many, you don't need 15, 16, 20 coins in order to do very well in the markets. And so I've actually pulled positions during the bear market to try and clean things up a little bit and have a more lean portfolio. And in fact, a lot of the positions that I've been adding to recently are existing positions. Like recently, I bought more Arbitrum, I bought more Illuvium. I put in bids on Avalanche and Chainlink and Bitcoin. This is all stuff I already have in my portfolio. I'm really trying to resist the urge to go and add new positions, because it gets unmanageable real fast. And you have so many things, and so many things are moving, and there's so many different news stories going on. It becomes quite hard to manage a very large, unwieldy portfolio, because with crypto, it's not like having a big stock portfolio. We have 100 stocks, and things will kind of be okay, different sectors. Crypto, just so much of it moves in line together, and it's so volatile, and it can move so quick. And as Crypto Paradox says here, this isn't Pokemon. You can't catch them all. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And it's funny because sometimes, people see my portfolio or whatever, and they're like, how dare you not own my coin, Lark? Man, you really can't own them all. And like, this is the thing is, it's just, you don't need to overextend yourself. It's tempting to do. Oh, I know. I've been there. My first major bull cycle, I had like 50 coins, man. It was crazy. Like every new thing is like, oh my gosh, this is the new paradigm of money. Oh my gosh, this is the new paradigm of money. And you keep buying stuff, and then it all goes down together. You now have 50 ways to lose 99% of your money. It's fantastic. Peter Jones, no DOT talk recently. I think we're all going to be talking about DOT more in the near future, to be honest, because Polkadot 2.0 is coming. I just got my Polkadot released from the Parachain auctions, which at the end of the day, I would have been much better off either just selling my DOT at $50 or taking all of my DOT and just staking it. Probably would have made more money than the Parachain auctions. Anyway, I've got my DOT back now, and I staked it. It's currently staking. And I may consider buying more DOT. I don't know. I have not decided. I've got to think about it some more. I had to take a while to think about some of these things sometimes, and sometimes even miss out on positions. And I don't really care. It's fine. It's all good. But I might add some more to my DOT bags. I don't know. I may have enough. Just wait for it to go back to $50 or maybe hit a new high for the next cycle, and then see you later, Polkadot. Thanks for all the good times. We'll see. Matthias says, part of me wants to buy $100 worth of every one of the top 100 coins. Only one needs to go crazy parabolic. If you're going to do that kind of, let's say, gambling, you may as well go and put $100 on every one of the coins between 600 and 700 on coin market cap. Probably going to lose money on 90 of them, but then a few of those have not financial advice, obviously, guys. Come on, manage your risks, seriously. But yeah, I understand the temptation to do that. But again, it's hard to manage all those positions. It really, really is. Okay, we'll do one or two more here, and then we'll finish up for today, guys. Great questions, by the way. Great questions. Lots of great questions coming through here. Somebody's asking about the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. This is interesting. I was just on an interview today talking about the 4-year cycle. And look, if we get the Bitcoin ETF before the Bitcoin halving, that could actually have us hit a new high price for Bitcoin before the Bitcoin halving, which would, in theory, break the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. You could look at it as an anomaly in the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, but it would, in theory, break the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. I feel like, though, the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is super, super pertinent in the first years. As we continue forward, as the altcoin market continues to grow in size and relevance, and that's where a lot of users end up. Remember, Bitcoin's digital gold. Beyond that, it doesn't have a lot of use cases. Well, we're starting to see ordinals and stuff like that. I know there's some stuff going on. Layer 2 networks are starting to build on Bitcoin. That's all very exciting. But most of the brains right now are on Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, Ethereum, layer 2s, all that stuff, like huge amounts of activity happening over there. And as that all continues to grow, and as the Bitcoin halvings continue and less Bitcoin starts being issued as block rewards, I really think the relevance of the Bitcoin 4-year halving cycle will start to fade. Now, probably not soon. Again, if we get a new all-time high before the Bitcoin halving, maybe it does shake things up a little bit. But I was thinking by 2032, it's probably going to be a heck of a lot less relevant. And why do I say 2032? Because that's when the Bitcoin halving will finally take us under 1 Bitcoin per block reward. So at that point, even if Bitcoin's at $1 million per coin, well, then the Bitcoin block reward's only $70,000 per block or something like that, which is obviously great for miners, probably still at that point. But the impact of that much supply coming into the market may not be that impactful anymore. Just my thoughts on it. Just my thoughts. Okay, where are we up here? Oh, we'll do one more. Clay the Great, thanks for the super chat, man. Have you heard the rumors of GTA 6 being built on AVAX? I have not. And of course, you got to be careful of those kind of rumors, because those kind of rumors are the exact kind of things that can float around and just be untrue rumors. So be careful. But if that was true, oh boy, that would be that would be a big, big story if it turned out to be true. So yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. I think we'll finish up there for today, guys. Thank you so much for all the great questions. Seriously, awesome questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time coming out, joining this live stream. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you in the next stream.